Okay, so let's define what an exponential function is. So an exponential function, q equals f of t, has the form ab to the t, where b is greater than 0. Right, and let's define what these parameters a and b are. So a is our initial value, our starting value. Okay, and that'll always happen when t is equal to 0. B is our base. So that is the base of the exponent. It's also the growth factor, and we can calculate b by using this formula. B is equal to 1 plus r. And when you're using this formula, it's really important that you make sure r is a decimal. Okay, so often r will be given to you as a percentage, and you'll need to convert it. And then r is known as the growth rate. All right, so we know that our exponential functions have this form ab to the t. And what we're going to do is numbers 3 through 8, we're going to see if we can convert these into something that looks like ab to the t. Right, so I'm going to start you out here. I have 2, and then I have 2 to the negative t. So this negative t can really be rewritten as negative 1 times t. Right? So I can take this and say that this is 2 to the negative 1 raised to the t, because the way that our simplification algebra rules work is that if I have 2 raised to the negative 1 and then that whole thing raised to the t, I can multiply these two together. So I would get that negative t, so these are equal. And this is going to give me 2, and then 2 to the negative 1 is 1/2 to the t. So that makes this form ab to the t. Number 4, I have a negative 4 that I can pull out. And then what I have is a 1/3 to the t. Okay, and we know that 1 to the t is 1. 1 to the anything is 1. So I can rewrite this as negative 4 times 1 to the t over 3 to the t, which is really negative 4 times 1/3 all raised to the t. So yes, I do have this ab to the t. So there's my a and there's my b. Number 5, I'm going to use this trick again where I split up this exponent. I'm going to use that over here. So I do have a 1/4 that I'll put out in front since it doesn't have any t with it. And then this 3 to the 2t, I'm going to rewrite as 3 squared to the t. That would just be multiplying these together, and that gets me back to my 2t. So it gives me 1/4 times 9 to the t. So there's my a and there's my b. All right, 2 times 3 to the t, and all of that cubed. So since I'm multiplying here, I can distribute this cube to each of these terms. So it gives me 2 cubed times 3 to the t cubed. And 2 cubed is 8, so I'll put my 8 down. And then this is, I'm going to swap the t and the 3, which I can do because all we're doing is multiplying these here, so it doesn't matter what order they're in. So I get 8 times 3 cubed to the t, which gives me 8 times 27 to the t. So this is my a and this is my b, all raised to the t. All right, number 7. Okay, why don't you go ahead and pause the video and try number 7 and 8 on your own. See if you can simplify those. All right, so let's give those a try. So again, I have t over 3, which I can write as 1/3 times t, so I can split that exponent up. So this gives me 8 raised to the 1/3, and all of that to the t. It's the same, the cube root of 8, which you can certainly put in your calculator, but that cube root is 2. So I get 2 to the t. Now, if you're going, oh gosh, I don't know if that fits because I don't see an a here. I see the b to the t part. You can always rewrite this with an imaginary 1 out in front that we just often leave off when it's just a 1 there. And then that would give me a is 1, b is 2, and then raised to the t. And last but not least, number 8. So I have 1/3 times 2 to the t over 1 times 1 over 3 to the t. So sometimes if you're not sure where to start, just expanding it all the way out as far as you can is a good way to go. This piece has no t in it, so that's definitely going to be my a. And somehow I need to make a b out of this piece. So I have 1/3, and I have 2 to the t over 3 to the t. And that gives me 1/3 times 2/3 all raised to the t. So there's my a, there's my b raised to the t. All right, so I have converted these all into showing that they are exponential.